Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute flow kind of flexibility hybrid class. I was hesitant to share it with you guys just because the lighting is a little bit bright and then dark, but it was such a good practice and I really wanted to share it with you. So find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. Well, let's go ahead and get started in child's pose. You can bring your knees out nice and wide, your big toes together. We'll start to lower down. Reach your arms out in front. Maybe push into your hands or your fingertips a little bit. And slowly melt your chest, melt your forehead all the way down. Letting your eyes close. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in and out. Doing that again, a slow, deep inhale and out. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Just take a moment here to relax the shoulder, the leg, maybe breathing without any effort. And settling in. Slowing down your day. Maybe just allowing the chest to get a little bit heavier. Staying for just a little bit longer here in child's pose, but if you want to walk your hands over towards the left side, find some nice length for your right arm. Maybe melt your forehead and your chest down, or as low as they want to go at least. Feel a side stretch. Enjoy a few breaths here. If you brought your arms, your hands over towards the left side, just lift up enough so you can walk them back to the middle, all the way off to the right side, lengthening through the left arm. Melt it down. Feel that stretch. And then just enjoy a few breaths here. Lifting up just enough so you can start to move your arms back to the middle of your mat. Maybe lifting your chest up a little bit higher too. You can push your hands into the ground. You can even start to walk your hands back towards you to lift your chest even higher. And then scoot your knees in. Lift up into tabletop. So bring your hands under your shoulders. Maybe take a gentle rock of the hips side to side if you'd like. We're going to be extending our right leg back behind us. So tuck your toes, push the ball of the foot into the mat. You could add a gentle rock forwards and back here, or you could just be still, just stretching the ankle, the calf a little bit. You can keep your right leg straight back behind you, or you can walk your foot off to the left. Maybe off of your mat, continue to push into the ball of the foot. If it feels good, you can still rock forwards and back here, or as always, be still. If your foot is off to the left side, send your hips to the right a little, so you can feel the outer hip a little bit, the outer leg a little bit. And then let's bring our leg back behind us if it is off to the left side. And then I want you to maybe walk your foot off to the right, but not too far. Maybe just off of the mat, so your foot's kind of out on an angle. Just kind of push the ball of your foot down. Might be a weird angle with the leg, so you can scooch the foot around a little bit. But just a gentle, maybe rock forwards and back again. Just trying to stretch the ankle a little bit more. Bend your knee a little bit if it's weird on the leg. And then slowly start to come back. Bring your legs straight behind you. Slide your right knee in. If you want to come off your wrists for a moment, you can lift on up. We'll just be switching sides though. Left leg going straight back behind to start. Or maybe it stays here the whole time. Push the ball of the foot into your mat. Maybe a few rocks forwards and backwards. How does this leg feel compared to the other one? Staying here or starting to walk the foot off to the right, behind you, to the right, just as far as it wants to go. Push into the ball of the foot. Send the hips to the left and maybe a gentle rock. Forwards and back. See guys, if your foot's off to the right side, start to bring it back behind you. Then maybe take it off to the left side. So I like to go just off the mat a little. Maybe a bend through the knee. Just gonna move around a little if it feels weird. Maybe you can push into the ball of the foot just a little bit more. Maybe a couple rocks forward in the back, maybe not. And then bring your leg back behind you. If it is off to one side, slide your knee in. Again, if you want to come off your wrist for a moment, you can lift up, take a few wrist circles. We're going to be making our way into downward facing dog though. So you can bring your hands back down when you're ready. Tuck your toes, lift your knees up. Taking those ankle stretches a little bit further. We're going to bring our feet together. Feet together, and then the left foot can lift up. Maybe the big toe will rest on the top of the right ankle or heel. Trying to drop your right heel down. So right foot planted, left foot lifted. You can keep your big toe on the back of your heel, or you can try to cross your left foot behind and off to the right side a little bit. Maybe giving the inner legs a little squeeze together. Trying to drop your left heel too, even though it's probably not gonna go anywhere. You see, guys, bring your left foot back. Place it next to your right foot. Uncross your legs. Plant your left foot, push into your palms, and then you can start to lift your right foot up. Maybe the big toe will find the back of the heel. Drive that left heel down a little more. Stay there or try to cross your legs. The right foot might be able to touch down. Maybe it's just your toes. Maybe the ball of the foot. Try to drop both of your heels down. Push into your palms. Feel the stretch through the calf. Nice, you guys. Uncross your legs. Bring your right foot back next to the left one. Let an inhale bring your gaze forwards and exhale. Walk up to the top of your mat. Take as many steps as you'd like. When you reach the top, inhale into a half lift. Lengthen through your spine. The exhale, fold forwards, bend your knees, inhale, all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up, maybe look up too, and then exhale to lower your arms down to your sides. Roll your shoulders back and down. So we're gonna fold forwards. You have the option to have your feet side by side. Maybe you're gonna cross your right foot in front of the left one. I'm going to say try to bend the knees a little bit first. Feet side by side or legs crossed. Hands to the hips maybe. Just start to take a little tip forwards. You have your legs crossed. Give the inner legs a little squeeze together. You can keep your knees nice and bent. You don't have to tip all the way down. You can go a little ways. Maybe get halfway. Maybe you're folding forwards. We've got a few moments here, so you can enjoy hanging out in the forward fold. If you don't like having your legs crossed, you can uncross them. Maybe your arms can be heavy. Your legs are crossed though. Give your inner legs a little gentle squeeze together. Push into your feet a little. Maybe your hands are able to find the floor to also help you balance. Little bend through the knees or a big bend. Just one more breath here. Then you can use an inhale. Take your time as you slowly start to lift. A little harder, a lot harder to do when the legs are crossed. But we're going to do that one more time. So if you did cross your legs, uncross them. Switch sides left in front of the right, or keep your feet side by side, but maybe this time you want to change the distance. Feet together, feet out wide, up to you. A little bend through the knees maybe. This might feel a little different on this side. You can start to tip forwards, maybe just a touch. Maybe keep going. But just take your time. Your forward fold, maybe with the funky legs crossed. Push into your feet just a little extra. Your legs are crossed. Give the inner thighs a little squeeze together. Soften through your shoulders. Bending your knees a little more. And then start to make your way all the way back up. Taking your time. Uncrossing your legs if they're crossed. Give your legs a little shake if you'd like to. Roll your shoulders back and down. Then take a big inhale to reach up. And exhale, let's fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale, folding. Planting your hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. We're going to bring our feet together. Our right foot's going to lift. You can have your big toe on the back of your heel. You can have your foot lift really high this time. If you want to sweep your foot behind you to the left side a little bit though, you can try to do that whether your foot is touching your mats or lift it up higher than that. See how far to the left side you can take your right foot. Push into your palms. To drop your left heel. Take another inhale. As you exhale, bring your right leg back through center and then down to your mat. Inhale your left foot up. Maybe the big toe finds the back of the right heel. Maybe your foot lifts a little higher or a lot higher. Your leg can stay straight behind you, or you can sweep it off to the right side. Breathe. Push into your hands, push into your right foot. See how far to the right side your left foot can go, your left leg. For just one more inhale. And then use the exhale to bring the left foot back through center and down to your mat. Use an inhale to look forwards. Exhale, walk up to the top. Inhaling into a half lift once you get there. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to come all the way up to standing. Reach up. Exhale, let your arms fall to your sides. And I see you guys, a little bit of balance. So if you do want to hold on to something, you can hold on to something. options though. We can do tree pose or we can do our standing figure 4. So why don't you guys start standing on your right foot? If you're going to do tree pose, have your foot on the inside of your leg somewhere, standing tall. If you want to do this standing figure 4, you can bring your left foot towards the top of the right quad and bend your right leg any amount. I like to flex my foot. You can keep your chest lifted nice and high. Maybe you're holding on to something. Maybe your arms are reaching out wide. If you are in tree pose, stay standing tall. If you are in your figure 4 and you want to get into your glute a little more, you could start to tip forwards. Stay nice to your knee. Flex that foot. Maybe your hands can come down to the ground, or you're somewhere in between, or you're standing tall. And then you're just going to slowly start to make your way back, all the way up. Place your foot that's lifted up, down. Give your legs a nice little shake if you'd like. And then we'll switch sides. Tree pose or figure 4, with or without holding on to something. Up to you. Maybe flex your foot though if you're going for the figure 4 option. And then remember to stay tall if you're in tree, or whoops. Or if you're in figure 4, you can bend your standing leg any amount. Keep the chest lifted. You can let the chest tip forwards. Feel the glute. Feel the breath. The wobbles. And then just slowly starting to come back. Standing tall and then placing your foot down if you have it lifted up. Still give your legs a nice shake if you'd like. Find the top of your mat if you wandered up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, let's fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale, fold, planting your hands, step all the way back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. The exhale, lower your knees down to your mat into tabletop. So we're going to start to extend our right leg back behind us again. We're going to take our foot all the way out to the right side. So maybe your foot can be in line with your hip this time. Maybe you can try and point your toes forwards. Try to push the entire bottom of your foot down into your mat. Let's lift the upper body up for a moment. Push your right foot down into your mat. Place your right hand on top of your leg. The left arm is going to start to reach up. You can lean over towards your right leg. Nice side stretch. You're leaning to the right. Use an inhale to come back up. Let's bring our hands down to the ground. Keep your right leg out if it's out nice and long to the side. You can stay on your hands or you can drop down onto your forearms. Keep pushing into your right foot here. We're going to be reaching our left arm out in front if you would like to. The right arm can tuck under the chest if you want it to. And you can let your chest get heavier. You added your right arm under your chest. Slowly lift so you can take it out. Your left arm was reaching out in front. Also bring it back so that your hands are under your shoulders. Take your right leg, slide it all the way back behind you if it's still out to the side. Set up your tabletop. Maybe take a gentle rock of the hips side to side. And then we will switch Left leg going back. Sweep it out to the side if you would like to. Try to connect the bottom of your foot down. Turn those toes forwards just a little bit more than you might think. Once you have your left leg out to the side, you can lift your upper body as well. Left hand can rest on top of the left leg. The right arm can reach up. You can lean over any amount. Nice side stretch. And letting an inhale bring you back. Your hands can come down as well. You can keep your left leg out. Maybe finding the forearms or staying on your hands. Maybe the right arm will reach out in front and the left arm will tuck under the chest. Maybe. You did bring your left arm under your upper body. Lift up, take it out. Walk your right hand in too, and then sweep or move your left leg back behind you as well. Bring your knees to your mat, to your tabletop. Take a gentle rock side to side with your hips. So we're gonna stay on our knees, kind of. We're gonna get into our wrists, our forearms a little bit. So take your left arm, bring it down. You can have your hips lifted, or you can be sitting on your heels, doesn't matter. But just bring your left arm down, make a fist, hold your fist with your right hand, nice and tight. And then you can start to lift your left elbow, your left forearm up until your arm straightens. And then you might have to lift your hips up too. Keep your fist nice and tight. Finding the length through the arm, feeling this through the forearm, the wrist, maybe all the way up into the shoulder. You have a fairly straight elbow or straight a little bit, bend it. Bring your forearm all the way down to the ground again. Keep your arm down, release your fist for a second, and then make a new one. Hold your fist nice and tight, and then lift back up if you'd like. The fist has to stay pretty tight. And then just soften your shoulders. And then slowly bring your elbow, your forearm down again. Let your fist go. Release, shake out the fingers a little bit. And then switch sides. Bring your right arm down. Make your fist, hold your fist with your left hand, and then start to lift your elbow up. Maybe you still have a nice big bend in your arm. Maybe your arm is pretty straight. Doesn't matter. To see how far you need to go until you feel something good. And start to bring your elbow back down. Slowly bend the arm, rest the forearm, release for a second, shake out the fingers a little bit, make a new fist, hold your fist, and if you want to come back up for a little more, you can come back up or you can skip this set. That's where you guys slowly bend your arm again. Once it's down, you can release your fist, your hands, give your fingers a shake, maybe even the wrists a little shake. But we're going to make our way into a lunge. Lots of ankle stuff today. We're going to be bringing our right foot forwards and then letting our knee come far past our big toe. So you can bring your hands down. You can lift your right heel up a little bit so that when you try to drop it down, you get that nice ankle stretch. So your knee can come nice and far past your big toe so that the heel lifts a bit. Maybe your chest is resting on your front knee. You can have your hands out wide here or wherever you feel supported. You might even be pushing into your hands a little bit, trying to drop your right heel down. And then just notice your left hip, your back leg. If you're feeling your hip flexor already, great. If you're not feeling your hip flexor, you might just scooch that left knee back a little bit, just ever so slightly, so that maybe you can add in a hip flexor. Stretch at the same time. Guys, let's start to release this. You can push back, walk your hands back, send your hips back so that you're no longer in the ankle stretch, in the hip flexor stretch. You're able to just bring your right knee back into tabletop. You can do that as well. Shake it out a little if you want to. We are going to be switching sides. Left foot coming forwards. Let your knee move past your toes, maybe ever so slightly, maybe a lot. Lift the heel a little bit so that when you try to drop it back down, it just deepens the stretch for you. Maybe your chest is resting on your knee, or it's up higher than that, but move your hands so that they are supporting you. Push into them a little bit. And then lastly, the right hip. You feel it already? Perfect. Do you want more? Maybe scooch that knee back a little extra. Leave for another breath. And then you can start to push yourself back, move yourself back so that you can bring the left foot, the left knee into your tabletop again. Maybe a few extra rocks side to side through the hips if you'd like. We're gonna have a seat so you can cross your ankles. Let's start by bringing our legs out long. Maybe a little shake of the legs if you'd like. So we're going to take our right foot. I'm just going to rotate just a smidge here. We're going to take our right foot. You can have your foot on your inner thigh, always a great place to be. Sitting tall, foot on the inner thigh, maybe a little tip forwards. If you want to take your right foot, stretch the ankle. You might place it not so much right on top of the quad, but kind of on the inside of, or the inner thigh, let's say. Resting the outer edge of your foot kind of on the inner thigh so that you're kind of stretching the outside edge of the ankle a little bit. Think half lotus-ish. You can have your foot on your inner thigh. You can have your foot nice and close to your hip crease, wherever feels good. Maybe your foot is a little closer to your knee. Your left knee, just make sure your right knee is happy with where you're placing your right foot. You can stay sitting tall here. You could tip forwards if your body allows you to do so. And then, of course, you have the option to keep your left leg out long. If you want to move into a cross-legged seated position that is maybe half lotus, we can bend our left leg, bring it underneath the right one. And maybe you end up in half lotus, your right foot on top, kind of on the inner thigh again, or close to the hip crease, or somewhere like that. If that doesn't work good or feel good for your knees, not a problem at all. You might even just sit cross-legged, or you can keep your left leg long and you can fold forwards with your foot on your inner thigh. We're going to take just a few moments here so you can decide where you want to be. Lengthen through your spine. Stay sitting tall. Maybe play around with a tip forwards. Maybe not. You can do this from cross-legged or that half lotus position. Just be nice to your knees. And if you're folding forwards, you've got your left leg out long, maybe your right one too. Maybe both of your legs are crossed. But let's start to lift back up. We'll just uncross everything. Send your legs out long or bend your knees. Gentle hug or rock side to side if you'd like. Maybe a little extra shake of the legs. We're going to be switching sides though. So your right leg can stay out long. Left foot, option 1 to the inner thigh. Sit tall, maybe a tip forwards. If you want that left foot to play around a little, the ankle, you might bring it towards kind of the inner thigh. Again, not right on top of the quad, but kind of the inside. And start by maybe having the foot close to the knee, maybe work the foot up towards the hip crease a little bit, but let your knee, your left knee, decide. And if you need more, you can tip forwards. And then maybe you're going to stay in the forward folds. Maybe you're going to switch to that cross-legged position, whether it is literally cross-leg the other way or with your foot on top of your leg somewhere, getting into that ankle again. But let your body decide. Lotus is not a pose for everyone, that's for sure. So lengthen through your spine. Stay sitting tall or have a tip forwards. And just use an inhale to find your way back up. If you're folding in any sort of way, you can uncross your legs or send your legs out long or bend your knees, plant your feet, hug it out a little bit. We're going to be laying down on our backs. So find your way all the way down onto your back, bending your knees, planting your feet. Maybe take a couple rocks side to side, give your low back a nice massage. We're going to take our figure 4. So your right foot can come on top of the left quad. Not the hip crease this time, but right on top of the quad, figure 4. Maybe flexing your right foot. If you want to lift your left foot up into the air, you can do that too, hugging your legs towards your chest. Feeling the glute. Your left foot's nice and high. You could also kind of let it fall down towards your glute a little. Still lift it up, but maybe just relax a little more. You can hang onto the back of your leg or maybe the top of your shin. Take just one more breath. And then releasing your legs down, feet down, legs uncrossed. Take a rock side to side if you'd like. We're gonna lift our right foot up into the air. Find some length through the right leg. You can hold on to the back of your leg if you'd like. Maybe pointing the toes towards your forehead. Keeping your right leg as straight as you can. You might send your left leg out long too. And just bringing your toes towards your forehead. Think about stretching the back of the right leg. You can move your hands up towards your foot. Maybe the calf, maybe the ankle, maybe the big toe. Just an inhale though. And then release. Bend your knee a lot. Plant your right foot back down. Bring your left leg back in too if you sent it out long. Switching sides, figure 4, left foot crossing over top of the right leg this time. And go ahead and flex your left foot. Decide if you're going to lift your right foot up into the air. Hugging your legs in. If you did enjoy letting the foot fall towards the glutes, you can do that again, or you can keep it lifted nice and high. Whatever feels good. Take another breath before you release your legs down. Plant the right foot, uncross your legs. Take a little rock side to side if you'd like. Eventually the left foot's gonna lift back up, lengthening the leg, send the heel up. Point the toes towards your forehead, hang onto the back of your leg wherever feels good. Maybe straighten your right leg if you want a little extra. Stretch your calf, your hamstring. Just one more inhale here. And then release. As you exhale, bend your left leg, bring your foot down. Bring your right foot in two. As always, maybe a few rocks side to side, or just be still. But bringing your feet so they're about hip width apart and scooching your heels a little closer towards your hips. Rest your arms at your sides. Let your palms face down. As you inhale, start to lift your hips up into your bridge. Think lengthening the hip flexors as you lift your hips up. Maybe tucking the shoulders under the chest slightly. Pushing into the feet, give your glutes a big squeeze. Take another inhale. And then with the exhale, slowly bring your hips down. Connect your low back to your mats. Start to rock your knees side to side. We're going to be moving into a twist. If you want to keep your knees bent, you can. Or you can hug your right knee towards your chest. Send your left leg out long. Twisting to the left side first so your knee can fall across your body. You can turn the hips a little bit. Maybe the shoulders too. And then twist. And breathe. Stay for another breath. And use an inhale. Lift your legs back up out of your twist. You can bend your knees, plant your feet if you'd like. Maybe take a couple rocks side to side. Deciding if you're going to keep your knees bent, letting them fall to the right, or straighten your right leg, hug the left knee in, and then move into the twist. Adjust your hips, your shoulders as needed. Close your eyes. One more breath. And then let an inhale bring you back up out of your twist. And you can bend your knees, plant your feet. You want to hug your knees all the way in towards the chest. You can do that too. Maybe a few rocks side to side. You want to open up your knees. Get into your hips again. Maybe your big toes will stay together. Maybe you'll reach for your feet for happy baby. But again, you can rock side to side if you'd like. Or you can be still. If you did lift your feet up or you're holding your feet, just start to bring them back together. Bring your knees back together too. Eventually your feet are going to find the floor again. Or you could heel toe your feet together, maybe letting the knees fall out wide. And just take a moment in this diamond shape. Relax your hips a little bit. We're going to be moving our arms a bit here. So you could keep your legs in the diamond shape, or you could send your legs out long, or even have your feet planted, your knees bent. But we're going to reach our arms up above us. So let your fingers maybe interlace if you want to. Your palms could turn to face up. And then maybe you'll let your arms fall to the floor above your head. Just kind of stretching through the upper body a little bit, pushing the palms up and away. Maybe even shrugging the shoulders towards the ears. And then you can slowly lift your arms back up. And if your hands are holding one another, you can release them. Maybe give the fingers a little shake. Keep your arms reaching up though. And then turn your thumbs to face the bottom of your mat. So your palms are facing out to the sides. We're going to cross our right hand over the left one. Interlace the fingers again if you'd like. Same thing, your arms can fall to the floor above your head if you want them to. Your arms are crossed right now, might be a little smaller of a hole to slide your head through your arms. Think giving your head a hug. If your arms are on the ground beside your head, slowly lift again. And if your hands are holding one another, release. Maybe give the fingers a little bit of a shake, maybe even a wrist circle. Eventually, if you're going to cross your arms the other way, palms facing out, thumbs pointing to the bottom of your mat. And then the left can cross over the right, interlace the fingers. Bring your palms together a bit. And perhaps the arms will fall back down. One more time. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears. So you guys slowly lift your arms back up one last time. Your hands are holding one another. Let them go. You can bring your arms down. If you want a little shake of the hands or the wrists, you can add that in too. And then if you've been making a diamond shape with your legs this whole time, you might bring your knees back together. You might want to take a few rocks side to side, massage your low back a few times. We will be making our way into Shavasana. Whenever you are ready for it, you can send your legs out long, your feet out wide. Same thing with your arms. Making any final adjustment. Starting to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe taking a deeper breath in, out. And if you want to take a nice big stretch again, reach your arms above your head. Eventually bending your knees so that you can roll over to one side. And finding your way up and into a comfy seat. When you're ready, letting your eyes close one last time. Bring your hands together in front of your heart if you'd like. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.